Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, especially the ladies. Come on in. Today we're going to start with Millie because she is wide awake and I thought you would love to see her. Whether you see her now or you see her in a minute is irrelevant because you can always go back and watch the beginning and see her then because she is so fat today. We can feel that she's getting heavier. Hi, Morgan, you made it. We can feel she's getting heavier. We can see it in her cheeks. She eats like all day long and she can't get enough of it. So this is our precious little Millie Rose in her little pink zip up. We kept it easy because it's Sunday and she liked that. It's your baby love. It's your baby love. So we are going to excuse Millie and let her go do her thing, because I told Miss Daly she could hold her for a little bit, so I'm going to let her hold her before she gets her appetite worked up too hard. And that's what we'll do. Oh, Miss Millie, I love you. All right, your turn. Can you shut the door, please? Okay. So, hello. Hi, everybody. It's good to see you. Morgan and Aaron and Cheyenne and Brandy and Marie and Alana, it's so good to see you. Today I have this beautiful lavender cup with this darling pattern around it. You can't see it, but it does have fruit on the bottom, but you can see it on the base of the plate that I have with it. And it is a, oh goodness, thank you. I have to read it. Royal Sealy China, made in Japan. So this is a Japanese. Oh, Morgan, aren't you the sweetest thing ever? I can't believe it's finally working. What a surprise. Yeah, so here we go. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my husband really doesn't care for my hair pulled back, but he's at work today, so I thought I could do it since he's not here. He also doesn't prefer when I wear leggings. He doesn't mind if I do, but he says like, oh, you look comfy. I'm like, hint, hint, don't wear those, because he doesn't say they look hot. So I wear those when my husband's gone. I wear leggings and I can put my hair up and it just makes it a little fun. And I've just got it in a little clippy, braidy updo. I didn't do anything fancy, but hey, it feels good and I'm glad you approve. It's definitely a girl hairstyle, not a guy hairstyle. It's definitely a girl outfit, not a guy outfit. Although my husband doesn't mind when it's got the deep V. But that's the difference, you know. A lot of times we ladies, we think that we're dressing for all the other women in the world, but really we should be dressing for one man, and that's our husband. What does he like that you wear? What does he like your hair to look like? Does he like your hair blonde or brunette? Does he like your clothes this style or that style? Does he have a preference, you know? That's why it's important. He might just like you to dress what makes you feel good, and that's okay. But, you know, when we just take it up a notch, they tend to be more interested, and you can usually tell. The same with, like, I have a few perfumes that my husband doesn't care for. I wear those when he's at work. I don't wear those for him. I wear the ones he likes and that he's chosen for me when he's home. And I think that's a more thoughtful thing to do as a wife, to realize, you know, when we were looking for a man and our man found us, he was attracted to whatever about us. And what's wrong with making sure that we actually nurture that part of our relationship? It makes them feel so much love from us. And the same with when we're flirty and we're loving towards them. I just get so much more reception and better relationship with my spouse when I am flirty with him and I make our relationship more fun. If I don't take everything so serious, because I'm a pretty intense person and I can be kind of serious. But with him, I try to make everything more of a joke because that's his personality. He's a really fun, lighthearted guy. So the more I can honor him and respect him in that light, the better our relationship goes, and I feel the difference. And so does he. So it's wonderful. He may or may not be able to get on tonight. So Joe, it looks like you're the tool master tonight. Do you mind? It's good to see you, Joanna. Hello, Misty. It's so good for everybody to be here. How fun. How fun, how fun, how fun. Yeah, so this little lavender, it's just fun because they rarely do a plate that's a full color let alone the actual cup to match it. So I thought that'd be fun, and it kind of goes good with this outfit. Like I said, I pick it out kind of to blend, and let's see how this tea tastes. Oh yeah, I have my combination, and it's strong today, and it feels good. My little mother's milk, herbal tea by Traditional Medicinals, my red raspberry tea from Traditional Medicinals, and a peppermint mix from Celestial Seasonings, because the one I bought from Traditional Medicinals also had a probiotic on it, and it was a little more bitter than I cared for, so I didn't want to go that route today, so I went with the one my husband got me, and it sticks up a little. That's kind of weird, right? Yes, so I'm pretty excited about Miss Millie that you're drinking chamomile lavender tea, Joanna. That sounds lovely. What is everybody else having? You know, that's what I love to know first, so I can picture where we're all at. Are you drinking iced coffee? How about tea? How about a lemon and honey tea? How about lemon water? At least have something to hydrate yourself when you're joining us. Unless you're washing the dishes, of course, then have your drink off to the side. But you know, Dr. Pepper, there you go. Some people do the Diet Coke, some do the Dr. Pepper. And Brandy's having coffee. Do you have anything in your coffee, Brandy, or do you drink it black? Peach iced tea, yum. Is it cold or is it room temperature? Because peach iced tea, do you actually have ice in it, or do you drink it just cold? That's what I'm trying to say. Coke as usual, Misty, right on. It's okay. I just love hearing what everybody drinks. My husband undoubtedly is drinking Diet Coke, whether he's on here or not. That's what he drinks all the time. Drinking orange juice, trying to get your baby to kick, right? Spike that insulin just a little bit. With ice, yummy. And that's not boring. Black coffee, I heard, is actually really good for you if you don't put all the stuff in it. But everybody can do it however they want. Hi, Christy. I'm so glad you can join us. I'm sorry I didn't put an opener in there. Like, you know, I sometimes try to put something on YouTube or on Instagram to let you know what time I'm going to be on here. But it looks like you all caught on. And I appreciate that tonight, because I was really not sure I was going to be able to come on tonight. Today has been a beautiful Sunday. I did sleep in a little bit. The kids slept in a little bit. I got everyone ready for church. I know I'm not ready to face it by the time I got all the kids off to church, because today, of course, is St. Patrick's Day, and I had to find the St. Patrick's necklaces I bought the kids so they could wear those. And it's Monday where you're at, right on. So St. Patrick's Day was yesterday for you, but I don't know if you guys celebrate St. Patrick's Day there, do you? So, you know, we just traditionally will wear green, and I had green ties. Some of the boys wore green ties to church. And then I had the little necklace that has the 3. Wonder if there's one just laying right near me. It looks like they've swiped them all. But it was fun because my daughter wore them to church, and the twins wore them to church. No one else was that brave. Some of them sported their Down syndrome awareness bracelet, and it has a little bit of green and blue and yellow in it, so they were covered there. It just was, you know, nice to change things up a little bit. What's one of your favorites? The iced tea, is that what's one of your favorites, or are you speaking of something else, Marie? You're 19 weeks and 2 days. He doesn't move all the time, but I'm anxious to feel it move tonight. Yeah. A lot of times I don't feel the baby move that early unless I'm laying down. And I can usually feel it when I'm still and my bladder's empty. You were notified by YouTube. It's okay. You did haircuts. Did you see my video? Oh my gosh. I, for a long time, just cut my boys' hair, but since I was about 6 or 7 months pregnant, I quit cutting the boys' hair, and I still haven't. I've been taking them places because I'm just exhausted, and it's 9 boys. Well, usually I end up doing about 7 because the other 2 don't live here, and then my husband. So that's 8 haircuts I've got to do, and sometimes I would do them over 3 days, and sometimes I would do them all at the same time. And I even did a video with it because I was like, this is no joke. I'm actually cutting all their hair. And then I haven't for a long time, and I'm okay with it. It feels okay. I don't even care. I just am like, one more thing to do. Oh my gosh. I mean, it is worth it for the money you save, but sometimes I can only do so much. And when I was pregnant on my feet for that amount of time, that was just too much. But good for you, Christy, saving your family some money. I don't know if you do haircuts by trade or if you just cut it out of desperation and save a few bucks. But either way, it's an honorable thing to do. You made ham and cabbage and potatoes. Yum! Your mother-in-law made corned beef and cabbage. That's awesome. Hi, Nathan. It's good to see you. We haven't seen you for a while. Thank you. You're one of those kind of guys that like those hairdos, huh? My husband prefers it straight down or just little curled. He doesn't mind, but he doesn't really prefer this. Maybe he thinks it makes me look old. It definitely makes me look more mature, right? I should have a little poof there. If I was a little trendier, I'd have a little poofy right here. I don't do that. That's never been me. Oh, Heather. Ugh, my spring break is over and back to school. I really enjoyed this past week with my 3 kids. They're on break they are on a 2-week they're on break again in 2 weeks. That's awesome. Yeah, it's wonderful. You have parades in the New Orleans area for St. Patrick's Day. Oh, Joanna, I want to come spend St. Patrick's Day with you. I love the idea of going to New Orleans. Ever since I saw the Big Easy all those years ago when I worked at the video store, I wanted to go to New Orleans and, you know, do the dancing and the beads and, yeah, do all that. I mean, they got the Mardi Gras thing too, but I just really would love to. So if you'll have me, I want to come celebrate St. Patrick's Day with you. And that'll be so fun. I'll bring Miss Millie. Maybe my husband will come too. We can go to a concert while we're there too. It's not something you see often anymore, right? What, hair up? You don't, let's see. Yeah, you don't blame me. Honestly, after 16 years, I'm kind of worn out from it, right? You're not a hairstylist either. You know what I do? Yeah, I take my daughters. I don't do their hair either. I actually did watch a few YouTube videos, so I will cut their hair or trim it any. Thanks, Joanna. But I will do my daughter's hair sometimes. And you know what I do? Every month when I'm going to do my boys' haircuts, I look at what's trendy for the season, and I kind of do a couple of the refresher courses to make sure I'm up to par. And I remember, and I've gotten way more confidence when I do that. The problem is I'm really pretty good at it now after 20 plus years, 25, 30 years, that I don't have the patience. You know, I'm like, let somebody else do it. Let the professionals do it. I'm just lazy, I think. I don't know. Okay, the curls, yeah. If you saw some of my older videos, I have all kinds of curls. And then I found out my husband could care less if I had curly hair. So why am I putting in all that effort to make it curly when he doesn't even care? And he's been home for 3 weeks, so I could just wear it straight and do almost nothing to it. And then today he's at work, so I just curled it. And it's just more fun. Ooh, how do you deal with kids close in age starting to constantly pick a fight? Well, there's a few things I do. Are they boy and girl or both boys? That's the first thing I need to know. So shoot at me. Because one thing is I've had kids who weren't getting along well, and so I end up putting them in the same room together. But you probably already have those 2 boys in the same room together. Is that true? These are all very relevant, very important questions to ask because they play a role in my answer. Here we go, Brandy. What do you got? Do they share a room? That's what I need to know. Or do they have their own rooms? Separate bedrooms. Well, honestly, what I would do is I would put them in the same room together so they could learn to get along. Because a lot of times if kids are in different rooms, then they're needing attention from each other. And whether they know it or not, deep down in their conscience, that's really what they're looking for is connection. So just get some games out that bond them. Anything that you can do to bond them, like when you go on a hike, that gives them an activity outdoor, anything outdoorsy that they could do where they're going to end up working together, or give them a project to work on together. Like Say you have a broken toaster, you can ask them if they could fix that toaster and they can work on it together. I would give my boys projects to work on together because they will work out the kinks. And a lot of times what happens when you have a 10 and a 12-year-old who aren't getting along, it's because a peck order needs to be established. A lot of times that younger brother is starting to buck up a little, right? He's got a little testosterone kicking in and he's thinking his brother's too slow or not fast enough or whatever, and he starts nipping at him, right? Nipping at his heels. And the older brother is kind and realizes he could smash that little toad, but he's kind and he doesn't. And so then you have that problem. Or you have the older brother who's getting bullied at school probably and is now bullying the little brother because at school they segregate the kids and the older kids play together and they don't play with the babies. Anybody younger than them is with the babies. And so now they start thinking it's okay at home and they segregate at home. But you just say, oh, no, that goes on at school, but that doesn't go on here. We don't do that here. We get along here. So y'all figure it out or I'm going to let you get along real well. You can move in together. Or you can go ahead and get this figured out without me having to move you into the same rooms. But I don't tolerate it. I don't tolerate fighting. I don't tolerate, like once in a while they may be able to have a little bit of an argument, but my kids don't fight. My kids aren't allowed to hit each other. They're not allowed to hurt each other. This needs to be a safe place. And if they're just bickering, then both of them could go to their room. Go do some quiet time. You need something, go read a book, go write in a journal, go listen to some music, anything like that. And that will help your boys. Oh, that would be fun, Joe. You could do that. I always want to call you Joanna, but when it says Joe's Web, just Joe comes out. Sorry about that. Yeah, right, Marie? She says she misses her children now that they're older, but she doesn't miss the fighting. And Joe misses hers too. Yeah, and Susan misses her. Pick and poke and tease. Yeah, just say stop that. Enough already. You've had your fun. Now go find something else to do. And just keep separating them. Like find something constructive to do together or you need to be apart from each other. And I just do not allow my kids to taunt each other. For a minute, fine, but no more. Oh, that's so sweet, Marie, right? You grew them in your belly and you got used to them and then they were here all the time and then now they're gone and how sad. And then they grow up. Oh, just want to cry for you. Yours are 7 and 7 months, so you're feeling that. You're feeling the pressures of being at home. Hi, babe, you made it. Yeah, he has to clean up from dinner. Thank you, Reshma. That's so sweet of you. We are in love with her. It's funny. You'll have if you're on Instagram, you'll want to look her up. I started a page for her just barely yesterday, and it says Love Millie Rose, so you can look her up on Instagram and friend her, or you can friend me too. I've got I'm at gotkids-keep it real on Instagram or _keep it real, and you can find me on Instagram. So be sure to look us up there. But it's kind of cute because I try to write messages from Millie's perspective. And the one today got me really emotional. So I'll try not to talk too much about it so I don't cry. Oh, you're dreading yours leaving? Well, don't worry about it. You got a long ways to go. Appreciate now. Live in the present. Don't think about when they're going to leave. Enjoy them completely now. 5 years old is just beginning life. Think of one thing I wish I would have known when I had early children is I wish I had thought in life more in phases. Like, these are the things I want my child to learn by this age, and these are the things I want them to learn by this age. And like, I have a no matter what list, you know, because before my kids leave their house, it used to be get their Eagle, have their driver's license, and graduate. And then it just gets harder and harder and harder with so many kids because they don't always all care about that stuff, and it's so weird, but whatever. I wasn't like that. You recently got custody of your 12-year-old stepson, Heather says. He came from a very sad background and he lies often and your girls are picking it up. We're in therapy, but it doesn't seem to be helping. Any advice? You know what? Lying is a lot of times a learned behavior, as you're seeing. It's also a bad habit. And you know what? There's a series out called Alexander's Greatest Adventures. It's kind of young, but teenagers enjoy it. You can buy it online. It's like I don't think it's an app, but if you just look it up, Alexander's Amazing Adventures, it has a book on lying, and it's called, like what happens is it's a story of a kid, and it's like, Mr. Robinson, who broke my window? So they were playing baseball, and they threw a ball, and it hit the guy's window and shattered the window. So it addresses how, about the lying. And I think anytime you could think of books that can help, or you know, videos that can help, anything that you could do to help them, encourage it, but talk to them. Let them know that's not acceptable, that lying is dishonest and people don't trust you, and what it is you like and don't like about it. And then don't make it scary for them to tell the truth. Say, you know, you've learned a bad habit, but it's really important for you to get out of that habit so that people can trust you, and it's really important. Let them know your standards about it, and move on from there. Fill it out, but try not to make too big of a deal about it. Because I know that when I was younger, I had a really hard time. I don't know why I lied. I just did. It was a habit I picked up, and I did it a lot. And then I realized people weren't trusting me, and I didn't like that reputation I was getting. And actually what happened was I was taking piano lessons from a lady at our church. And I wasn't real crazy about it. I was like 12 years old, and I was kind of done with the piano. You know how we get when we're about that age. If you're playing a musical instrument and you don't want to use the time up to practice. And I was at her house, and I remember on the piano, the girl she was a senior in high school, and her class ring was on the piano. And there was a little girl, they were babysitting at the house too, and I remember the little girl was playing with it. For some reason, she was able to get that ring, and she was sitting in the chair. And it was really interesting because watch how this was handled. I had my piano lesson, played the piano piece, whatever, went home, I was done. That same day or the day after, the piano teacher came to my mother and told her that her class ring was missing, and she thought I stole it, and accused me of stealing it, and told everybody at church I had stole it. And it was really hard for me. And I didn't steal it. I had no interest in her class ring. What would I want a class ring for? Do you know I never got a class ring because I could care less about that. And she constantly told my mom that I stole it, maybe I hid it. And my mom was asking me, I'm like, Mom, I didn't take it. Why would I take it? And she chose to believe me, thankfully. Oh my gosh. But things were never the same. The piano teacher, they ended up tearing that. I said, well, I saw the little girl playing with it in the chair, but that's all I remember. Well, it turns out they found that ring in the side of the chair down in the cushion, and she felt really bad, but it was too late. You know, it's like they say, you know, gossip is like those feathers. You take a handful of feathers and you blow them in the wind, and they're going to go everywhere, and the wind's blowing and carrying on and taking those feathers everywhere. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Go gather up all those feathers. You're going to find them all? Not likely. And so now there was no way she could undo the damage that was done. But here our relationship was tainted. So I just think that that was a very important lesson for me. I realized from then on I didn't want to have a reputation because I was kind of doing some things that weren't honest. And I just realized that repercussion that came because I'd already had a tattered image or whatever. So I can't blame them for thinking I stole it, but I didn't, and that was hard for me to be accused when I didn't do it. So it definitely changed our relationship forever. And I just think it's important when you, you know, when you think of people who are like politicians that lie about important things, and then publicly it's embarrassing. Like, tell them stories. Do you want that reputation? Do you not? But yeah, that's what I think about that. Hi, Lady E. I hope that helped, Brandy. And your boys making the tension filled by picking on each other, arguing. Let's see, that was actually Heather who asked that question. So I hope that was helpful. And then, Yes, enjoy the here and now and don't look any further. It's so frustrating when you try to do fun family things and your boys make it tension-filled by picking with each other. Exactly. Just separate them, you know. Put them on two different sides of the car and put something else and give them something to do. You know, you could play those games where they play the license plate games when you're in the car. Like, just distract them. That's the easiest thing I find, is something to distract them. Turn on some fun music, just some different things like that. Morgan, you're going to bed? Take care, sweetie. Thanks for coming in for a little bit. It was good to hear from you. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I hope those help you. Oh, thank you, Morgan. All right, so I will. Remember, on Monday nights, I'm not going live anymore. We're going to use, because Monday nights are family night for Family Home Evening, and I'm going to just save that so I don't have to try to hurry through it or anything like that. I want to be able to just let it come naturally. So Monday night's the only night I'm not coming on. So hopefully you'll remember that, and I'll post that. I'll just give you a little post of what we're doing to remind you that I won't be going live, so you won't be looking for that. Oh, you're so sweet, Morgan. Well, good. That sounds good. Do we have any other questions? We've been on 26 minutes. We can talk about a couple more things before our time is up. You know how I am. Once that tea is gone, that's when we usually wrap it up. Wasn't that so funny last night? My little mini teacup, and it took forever to drink that tea. It wasn't as good. Oh, we're gonna all miss each other. That's so great. Aww. You know, it's hard. I wonder if I can do a Monday afternoon one instead of in the morning, but that might shut out a lot of people just for the timing of it. But if I can throw up a video, that would be good, because I think I've got Millie's bedroom one about done. So we'll see about that. And maybe I can get that video done for you guys on Monday. That way you can at least have something. Family first. That's right, Nathan. You know, that's what we're all about. Hi, Julia. And I don't think that we saw Gretchen. Oh, wait, there she is. There's Gretchen. She just got there. I don't see Gretchen tonight. And then she just popped in. That's awesome. Yes, happy Sunday. Happy Sabbath. I'm enjoying my cup of tea and my darling lavender set with the fruit on the bottom. I can't wait to finish it so that I can show you. It's 10:12 for you, huh? Here it is 7:12. So we're 3 hours different. And that's okay, right? Yeah, so we talked about, ooh, lemon zinger. I hear that's a good one. That one, and there's like a spice zinger of some sort. I want to, let's see, do I have that there? I have that there, okay. Ta-da. Yay, I'm so glad. Yeah, so it's 7 o'clock here, so that's like a 3-hour time difference. Ooh, Mama Bear, she's a new sub. Loved my birth vlog. Wonderful, I'm so glad. Man, I get some really great comments on there, and once in a while I get those ones about, you're too old, and I'm like, shut up. It's mind your own business. Yes, Millie made her appearance, Fran. She started out the video today. And so you'll want to watch the replay because she's right in the first 5 minutes. She's getting so fat and so chubby. But Daly had already asked me if she could hold her. And I'm really kind of protective and possessive of her. And I don't let them hold her. So she's holding her in her room today. I could probably, if she brings her back, I'll show her to you. But we already did her little debut at the beginning of the video today. I usually save her for the end, but she wasn't sleeping today. She's wide awake. And since I had to give my daughter a turn, you know, it's been kind of hard because I don't have, I don't get to do the same you know, schedule with her that I did with my other kids, and that's really difficult for me. Let's see. Bobby Ann, hi, it's good to see you. I know you have a lot of kids, but I'm just wondering if any of them have been diagnosed with anything, and if so, what disability or anything. Yeah, Julia, I do have a lot of kids, and the only child I have that's actually been diagnosed with anything are none of them. But Miss Millie is Down syndrome. She has Down syndrome, and she has a double heart defect. She has a high let's see, called VSD and a high ASD, and they are a couple holes in her heart. It's a large ASD and a large VSD, not high, large. So she'll be having surgery at about month 6 to 9. It just depends. She's doing really good right now. She's getting fat and she's getting happy. And if you watch the replay, the first 5 minutes, she's in there. She opens up the video with me. The picture, obviously, is of me holding my teacup, because that's kind of what we've got going on here. But she opens up with me today, so it's kind of lovely. I like it. I like it a lot. Right? Exactly, Nathan. And that's what I say is, you know, some people might feel like we're too old, but think about how many grandmas are having to raise their grandkids. Think about how many kids are, you know, because maybe the child went off and got into drugs and had a baby and are unable to take care of them. Don't we make better parents in our 30s, 40s, and 50s than we ever did in our 20s? And if you're a 20-something, no offense, you're trying, you're learning, but we're just not as critical of ourselves in our older age. We understand kids in a different way. We understand that we don't sweat the small stuff, and we let things go that don't matter. We understand what's important more. Kind of like the video yesterday. Was it yesterday that I showed, in the last 2 days, I showed that little sign in my bathroom, you know, about treasure this day. It's a lot easier to treasure the days when you're in my age bracket, because you realize how fast time goes. Whereas young mommies are just like, isn't there more to life than this? It's like, oh no, there's nothing more important in life than this. So that's the difference, I think. So what better way than in your 50s? I'm 47, I'll be 48 this year. My husband will be 50 this year. Actually, in April, he'll be 50. So we're a couple of old fogies having babies, and we thought about having a couple more. My biggest problem is that after the birth of the twins, I ended up having a pulmonary embolism. And so it kind of kicked me on my butt for a little while. It took me a couple years to recuperate, and I went 6 years infertility, and I wasn't sure that I could have any more babies. And you know, I got off the sugar and the white flour pasta kind of thing, lost just enough weight that I got pregnant. Didn't even know I could have another baby, and we had our surprise. But we were so excited because we always wanted 13 kids. We just didn't think we could have them. So, you know, one thing led to another, and we feel like she was definitely a blessing. And if we have any more kids, we'll probably adopt them. I don't know that physically I should be doing it anymore, just because it's not worth taking a chance of me not being here. And you know, that's a reality that sometimes we have to face. I know you all want to see her, but I showed her. Honestly, I did. Thank you for answering your question. It just allows you to, because you have a disability yourself, to realize that not all people are going to either answer me or ignore me because of my disability. Oh, honey, psh, disability, shability, who cares? We all got some kind of disability or hang up, right? I haven't, like, I have kids that have had depression, but they weren't diagnosed with depression. I have kids that have had, you know, had thoughts of suicide, but they weren't suicidal. You know, they didn't live with it all the time. I've had kids that are borderline genius, but they haven't been tested with it. I have kids that, I have my daughter, Millie, who has Down syndrome, but I don't need a diagnosis to know that she has Down syndrome. It's apparent, but she's acting very healthy, and I just treat people how they are. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. I don't care what your disability is. I mean, obviously, if it limits you, I want to help you, but disabilities, nah, don't worry about it. It's just like someone having, you know, a bone disease, or having what do you call it, lupus or fibromyalgia or dementia, like whatever. You can't help it. You don't get to pick and choose what disabilities you have. If you had a say in it, fine, but we don't. So just whatever. We do the best we can. Your Fran's last baby came when she was 37, and some people even acted like that was too old. But oh, what a wonderful blessing what has been along with the others, right? And at 37, you know what they say, you know, 40 is the new 30, right? We got like 10 years knocked off our lives. We get to be younger, longer, because we're smarter at 47. You have a heart disease? Oh, bless your heart. What do you have? Like, does it have a specific name, or is it just heart disease? Because usually there's a more specific one. Yeah, no one chooses what sickness or how healthy they can be. Honestly, I thought I was indestructible, and I didn't think anything could be wrong with me. I thought I was going to live till I was 120, and then when I had the twins and had that pulmonary embolism and it about kicked my butt, I realized that I'm not indestructible, and God can take you whenever He wants you. And boy, did I learn a whole new lesson about just taking each day and being so grateful for every breath you take, because you don't know if your number's up tomorrow. You don't know if it's going to be up next week. You don't know if you're going to get hit in a car accident or crossing the street. Like, how do we know? We don't. So you just treasure the present, live in the moment, and be so thankful for everything you have, because you never know when it's going to be over. And that's the same way with disabilities, you know. You just make the best of what you've got and do the best you can and go with it, you know. You make do, or you do without, or you get help, or whatever. You need surgery, but you refuse to get it. Oh. Well, I'll pray for you that you'll find the right answer. Maybe you're refusing to get heart surgery because of a religious reason, or are you refusing because you're scared, or you don't have the financial means? There's probably a reason, right? My daughter needs heart surgery, and we're going to have to get it, because it's that or she will die, and I don't want her to die. What? That's ridiculous, Julia. She says I'm the first one that's actually answered any of her questions, even when I go online, or even... That's ridiculous. Nonsense. Not here. Everyone has a voice here. That's just crazy. Marie says that her daughter is 42 and mentally challenged, and her sons are fine, but sometimes she has more sense than them, right? I hear you, Marie. My husband, he's so funny. He tells jokes like this, you know, because I told you about the hockey player yesterday, right? Because he's got that hockey guy that works at the fire station with him, and they do a special needs team where the kids either have autism or Down syndrome, and so those kids get to play hockey, and they love it, and they're quite, you know, avid in it. And my husband's like, well, you know, he says that we can have Millie on the team, but I'm like, well, yeah, that's all great and everything, but we don't let the kids do sports. We're kind of not into that, because we don't want them to have injuries or whatever. Like, if you really love a sport, you can do it when you're older. I'm not sure that that's the best way to do things, but it was a lot, because we had so many kids. You could only go to half the games or whatever, and I didn't want to be pulled between. I was like, I would rather do like swim team, where they could all be at the swim meet at the same time, or in karate, where they're all at the same meet at the same time. You know what I mean? Whereas a sport, it divides the teams, and you're going all over the place in different seasons, and I just wasn't into being that mom. So anyways, my husband says, he says, well, we might be able to let Millie, even though we didn't let the other kids, because it's obvious we love her more than the rest. I just couldn't help but laugh, because it's not like that at all. But you can pull strings whenever you need to, right? It's just so silly. When you think you are in a bad way, think about people who are less fortunate. It really helps. You know, sometimes that helps. Oh, scared. You're just scared to have it. Well, yeah, it would be scary to go under and not know what's going on. What are your odds if you have the surgery? Like, what is the outcome? Because maybe your life will live as long, like 50-50 chance, or If you have the surgery, your odds are lower of survival, which might weigh out why you would actually have the surgery at that time. Does that make sense? Let's see. You know, today I was talking to a girlfriend, so check it out. It's almost dinner time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, dinner time. Can we really do sandwiches again? I didn't make anything today. I had a lazy day. Like I said, I was in my pajamas way too long, and I didn't even really make the bed. I half made the bed today, and I just was feeling just sober today. Just really grateful for a lot of things, but kind of, you know, after you have a baby, your hormones kind of go up and down. Even though I'm taking my herbs and stuff, I've been kind of emotional, and especially recently. And today I was talking to my daughter because, my girlfriend, my daughter. I was talking to my girlfriend because she came over, and here I was thinking about what am I going to have for dinner, and she brings this huge tray of sandwiches somebody had brought to her house. See, remember we talked yesterday a little bit about the LDS Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Well, one thing is that you have a Relief Society president, right? She's kind of in charge of all the women, basically their families in the ward. But everybody has somebody they're in charge of, and they report to her any needs that those families have. Well, she was already the person who was helping me before I had the baby, before she got called to be the Relief Society president. And she was like just coming and picking up my donation bags. Do you remember me talking about her? And she came and she had the kids do their chores one time when I was just up all night. And so she asked what she could do to help. And I was like, can you just knock my kids into shape? And I was half joking that she totally did. And so today, because she knew my situation, and I just had the baby, and she's over our area, somebody had brought sandwiches left over from their family reunion, and they had way more they needed in this huge box of variety chips. So she brings them over to my house and has this full plate of sandwiches, you know, croissants with sandwich meat in them and cheese, and says, could you use this? I'm like, heck yeah, I don't even have to make dinner. And I just come downstairs, and my son had just made me a tuna fish sandwich, but we only had 2 cans. So we were like, well, the kids can have the other kind of sandwich. And it was just nice because they got to have something different. And it was just really good timing. But when she was at the house, she was just, you know, she asked, how are things going? Is there anything I could help you with? And I said, oh, I'm just tired. And she's like, I totally understand that. And she gives me a hug because we're friends from way back. And I just broke down. I started crying, and I was like, you know, it's because she's a nurse, and so she gets kind of what's going on with Millie, and her husband's also a firefighter, and she says, you know, she says, well, you're treading new territory, so it's like you've never had these experiences before, so it's new for you. And I was like, yeah. I said, what, then I'm going to get emotional again because talking about it just makes me emotional. And it's like, it's hard because I've nursed all 12 of my babies, and I nursed them faithfully for the shortest one I ever nursed was a year, and then my twins I nursed till they were almost 3 years. And you just get a connection that you don't even realize because you do it because out of duty, but you love it. And I love nursing my babies. And when I realized that my nursing was causing more harm for Millie than it was helping her, I had to cut back on nursing with her, and I only get to nurse her for 5 minutes at a time. And I only nurse her like 3 or 4 times a day. That's really hard for me. And I'm pumping the rest of the time because I know it's too hard for her to work. And it just seems stupid because why am I crying about it, right? I mean, it's like I'm mourning this baby that she has to have surgery. And I'm like, Heavenly Father, how sad that these little babies have to have surgeries and that they have to go through these things. And yet my baby isn't going through half as much as other babies are going through. You know, there's some babies that are having to have heart surgery right when they're born or going through all this stuff. And it makes me so sad. And I think about my baby having her surgery, and it makes me so sad. And she doesn't even have to have it for 6 to 9 months. And I'm like, but that doesn't make me feel any better for any of those babies. They're all sad to have surgery. And then, you know, I'm having to give my little baby formula. And then my sister-in-law reminded me that when her baby was in the hospital, she had to pump her milk for a year. And I was like, what kind of a mother pumps milk for a year? And you're just like, wow, talk about dedication. Talk about, you know, love. Oh my gosh. That's just how mommies are. And I was like, here I'm sitting here going, can I keep doing this? And, you know, after that emotional breakdown I had today, of course I can do it, but it's just hard because you lose out on so much when you're holding a bottle than when you're nursing, but you just do what you have to do. And I just thought it's so crazy how I get so emotional about it. But even knowing that other people have it worse, yeah, it does make it harder, but we just have compassion and we just have love, and it's not such a bad thing, right? That we can feel that emotional, and that we can have that connection, and we can love each other, and we can, you know, just maybe Millie knowing how hard that was for me will be comforting to her to know, you know, I don't treat her like she's any different than my other kids, and yet I'm having to treat her different because she does have a heart condition that makes her lose weight when she eats if I don't feed her triple the amount. And she just burns too much energy when she's nursing for longer than 5 or 10 minutes. So yeah, and Joanna's so cute. She says she calls her youngest baby bear, and she was glad that we have sandwiches all around. And then Marie says, what a great friend. You're lucky to have each other, right? And Joanna says, hugs. Thanks, Joanna. So does Susanna. She says, sending hugs to you, Michelle. Thank you. And Higgs says, I'm so sorry, and it's okay to cry, right? Yeah, I definitely have a heart, no doubt about that. You're a mom, and that's why you're sad, right? We just feel that. We have that emotion. Gretchen says it's perfectly normal to feel that way, and hug. Thank you. And Fran says, God love your heart, and of course you have those feelings, right? And Gretchen says, big hug. And Susan says, bless your heart, so sweet, thank you. And Angelina says, hiya, just got here. Thanks, Angelina, it's good to see you. And talking it out and crying helps, for sure, Fran. And then Marie said, you can have a pity party day, and you do not have to apologize for it. Yes, and I wonder if that's kind of what was going on with me last night, you know, feeling that melancholy feeling I was having yesterday. And, you know, yeah, I'm tired, but it was emotional too. And then today I just went ahead and let it out. And I obviously am not finished. But I just feel really tender about it. And you just have to come to terms regularly, and that's just hard. Wow, you're so sweet, Joanna. Nathan says, it's like the police officer in Brazil. I think that the breastfed another mother's baby because she could feed her and couldn't afford the formula. Exactly. I knew what you meant, because like how my daughter gave me half of her pumped milk supply so that I could give that to Millie for her first few days until I got a formula or got my milk supply in. That way I could make sure my baby was getting the best, and it was from when she first was feeding her baby. So it was 2 months old, but it was in the freezer, and I fed it to Millie and it worked. And how full circle is that? You know, I fed Tuesday for 2 years, almost 3 years, till I had my next baby. And then now here she's giving her milk for my baby, my other baby. And I just think it's so wonderful how we do that. And I remember when I first had kids, my sister had her baby and I nursed her baby because her milk hadn't come in yet and the baby was hungry. So I said, here, I'll nurse her, and fattened her baby right up with just a meal or two. Just know that you're doing something right, because she is still here and happy and healthy. Yeah, she really is. Maybe not her heart right now, but it will get fixed, right, Lady E? But good, she's sending good thoughts. Aw, thanks, you guys. Yeah, it really is. It's neat to be able to have women bond together and help each other and support each other. But then we couldn't do it without those men protecting us and backing us up and standing up for us and just providing so that we can nurture our children the way that we need to, and we can love our children the way that we need to. What a gift. God designed it so perfectly. Yes, right, Mama Bear? Beautiful, full life circling back. That's right. The circle of life, for sure. Yeah, so that's the sermon for today, right? That Sunday sermon. Nothing better than the way that God ordained those families to be, and for that man to be the protector, the provider, the husband, the father, and the provider, and for the woman to be able to be the wife, the mother, and the homemaker. Whether she works outside the home or not, those roles are still hers and hers alone. And boy, can we feel it, right, ladies? We feel that role, and you feel that instinct. Tonight I have my herbal tea of mother's milk, red raspberry, and peppermint. The mother's milk and red raspberry are for traditional medicinals brand, and the peppermint is from Celestial Seasonings. And I'm almost done with my cup of tea. What are you drinking tonight, Angelina? If you haven't told me what you're drinking tonight, put it down. I want to know before we go. About choked to death, excuse me. Very yummy, yes, very yummy. And that's kind of where all this began, because I need to drink this for Millie to make sure I keep my milk supply up. And the one night I was just drinking it, and I'm like, I should do this every night, because it gives me a reason to drink my tea and be able to see you at the same time, and I don't want to drink my tea alone. So it's way fun to drink it with you guys. And then this part of the channel was born. Like I said, Rod would be drinking Diet Coke and cherry Pepsi for Angelina and water for Joanna. Good choice, Joanna. You know I'm big on water, right? We dehydrate in the winter because we don't seem thirsty. Oh my gosh, so funny. So today my daughter, after church, they were in here talking to me. Ooh, friends, I'm drinking ice water. And Higgs loves live chats. Lady E has water too. Good for you guys. So my water story is this. I have this giant, water I drink. I showed it in some of my videos before. I don't have one handy with me because it's clear over there. Anyway, so it's a big, smart water. And I had about that much gone in it. And I was just like, I'm thirsty. So I went ahead and I started drinking the water. And I was like, I'm really thirsty. I'm going to keep drinking it and drinking it and drinking it. And I drank the entire bottle of water, and I tossed it, and I told my daughter, I was really thirsty. She's like, I guess so. I was like, I could probably drink another one the same size. But that's the kind of energy and liquid it takes to pump out, 10, 12 ounces of breast milk every day, not to mention keep your own body hydrated. Right? Oh, don't worry, Higgs. Just when we're done, just watch the replay the first 5 minutes and Millie will be there. If I could, I'd tell the kids to come in, but I'd have to yell, and I just don't like to yell, and regardless of what it said on that video, I don't yell at my kids. There's no reason to yell. There. Plug it in and make sure the battery doesn't die, right? So anyways, that's where we're at today. What a good chat we've had. What a good time we've had. It's been so great to visit with everyone. I've been so glad you're here. If you felt touched by anything today, don't worry. Morgan dropped a cute little tip in the tray today, and if you want to, great, throw something in there, and if you don't, that's okay. We'll take whatever we can get, right? Just give it a thumbs up. That's a great way to say thank you for being here and to let people know that we love it. And I love that you comment and that you have things to say. I feel like I'm getting to know each of you. Like, I've never met Joanna, and I feel like we're just best buds, and I could go see her anytime, and she even invited me to stay at her house, or, well, no, to come visit her, not stay at her house. I'm not going to push myself in there. I can stay at a hotel. That way I don't have to worry about imposing, right? Hi from Australia. Hi, Lee. How are you? So we are just kicking off. I'm sorry that you didn't make it in time for the chat. We've been on here forever, but you're welcome to come back and play the replay. And Joe says I can stay with her, so I will. And I'll help you with the project while I'm there, because I know you got all that clutter you've been working on. And yes, I will see everybody on Tuesday night. Thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you for being here. As always, Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll post something tomorrow, but I'll see you on Tuesday night about the same time, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and sometimes at 6:30. Just depends on the day. But I'll let you know ahead of time. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm so sorry, Angelina. All of them, Joe? The little ones. I'll bring the little ones. That's all. All right, take care. Ciao. She's gone. Oh, wait, I can't leave. I have to show you the bottom of the cup, remember? Okay, that's the top. Look how cute it is. Fruit in the bottom, fruit on the bottom. I think that's where it came. Makes me think of that comedian. Fruit on the bottom, hope on top. That you'll play message. All right, take care. I'll talk to you more about that later. Bye.